Meanwhile, something certainly amiss with the Chiefs dating back to the second half of last season. Over the last 14 games, they've outscored opponents by just 4 points while playing in 11 one-score games and allowing close to 30 points a game over that stretch. So this was such an interesting game in so many ways. I feel like the first place we should start is with Justin Herbert because Mahomes, we know what Mahomes is. What is Justin Herbert now?
Justin Herbert's just like him. He's exactly like him. And think about this, right? If you're Justin Herbert, the first time you ever get an opportunity to play, it's because of a medical mistake with Tyrod Taylor. Guess who's the quarterback on the other side?
15.
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. And you go toe-to-toe with him. It doesn't look like there's any drop-off from either team's quarterback, and you have to feel good about that. Now, what the Los Angeles Chargers also believe is that Justin Herbert is as good as Patrick Mahomes, that Justin Herbert can make the plays in the clutch moments as good as Patrick Mahomes. And what we watched yesterday was Justin Herbert take full control of this team on the last drive. He had opportunities to run the football where he didn't because he believed in himself and what he could do with his wide receivers more than he believed in the play call. And you know what Brandon Staley did? Sat there and let him do it. Why? Because he's an absolute stud and he's a dude. We're not seeing the changing of the guard, right? Because Patrick Mahomes is going to be here for a long time. But what we are seeing is other people are catching up. After a while, they start to figure it out. Now Andy Reid, now Patrick Mahomes, it's your next move.
Okay, and so now let's get to that. And again, every bit of reporting we have suggests Andy is fine and there's not any concern for his health in the big picture. So how much concern, we just showed you all those stats, how much concern do we have for the Kansas City Chiefs, who we thought were the clear favorites in the AFC and are now 1-2?
Yeah, absolutely. Huge concerns. Yeah. I mean, let's face it, they should be 0-3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very easily could be 0-3 if the guy doesn't drop the punt.
Right.
So I'm telling you, everybody, you saw the stat. You put it up there right there. Himbo put it up with 11 games decided by 4 points or less. Like, I'm sorry, this is not the same old Kansas City Chiefs. Teams are catching up to you. And by the way, Justin Herbert was the best player on the field yesterday.
Yeah,
so Patrick Mahomes, if you want to be that, I never thought Patrick Mahomes at any time of that game looked comfortable. And it just was different. It wasn't that game. The Chargers believe they can beat him, and they did. They beat him at a meaningless game last year and stuff. But they could have very easily beat him on Herbert's debut as well. Yeah. So to me, this is every week now. You got the Raiders playing well. You got Denver playing much better. Like I'm telling you right here, it looks like Kansas City to me is so good that they're like, well, we'll just show up in the playoffs. You got to get to the playoffs first.
It's not even about showing up in the playoffs, though. Sometimes they feel like they could just hit a switch whenever because we've seen them do it. It's not the same for them anymore.
I'm not going to panic over the Chiefs. I will say two things. One, they've been careless with the football this year.
Very much.
Careless. Yeah, 6 turnovers through 3 games. They had 49 in their last 48 games. Yeah. So they're really double their average. Careless with the football, and I've got to do my job. Patrick Mahomes has been careless with the football as well. As much as I love Patrick, he's been careless with it. They got to get a second receiver to step up and make some plays.
Absolutely.
Someone has to. In regards to this offense, the second receiver stepping up and making some plays is going to be a big deal. The carelessness with Patrick is not I could do whatever I want. I've done it so consistently.
Yes.
And I don't want to say gotten away with it, but had success with it. I feel like I could do it all the time. So someone's got to reel that in a little bit. Just doing our jobs, reel it in a little bit. That being said, with Justin Herbert, I think the difference yesterday was the Chargers had a quarterback that has an ego that doesn't play cocky.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have an ego to make some of the throws he does. But he just checks the ball down sometimes and plays that simple football that we don't see Patrick kind of do it on a consistent basis this year.
Who is the better receiving corps, the Chargers or the Chiefs? When you look at the receivers, it's the Chargers. And here's something, the wide receivers.
Kelsey.
But here's the thing. Herbert at the end, has to make a play, 4th and 8. So he's going to go to Keenan Allen, right? No, Keenan Allen's doubled. Who's he? Going to go to Mike Williams? No, he throws it to Jalen Guyton, the third option right there. And that's how confident he is. Here it is. I got one-on-one against Mike Williams. I'm going to throw it to him.
But that's a run play.
Dan sends this play over last night, and I was like, Dan, that's absolutely a run play.
It's a run play. They're just calling to hand that ball off. And I think because the play before, they kind of hit him on a double move and they throw the back shoulder to Mike. And I think Herbert just kind of looks at him in that moment and realizes same corners on one-on-one, I'm just going to give you a shot. And I think that matters. Yeah. Like the coach, and that's why I say the ego, the quarterback in that moment being like, I'm good enough. I'm good enough to make the right
throw. I would have loved to have heard that conversation on 4th and 4 when they lined up to kick that kick. Because darn well Herbert's like, hey, listen, I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
I will
They
get
went
this
for it
thing.
3 times on 4th down.
I know.
Before that, yeah.
And that's what you do when you're playing against Patrick Mahomes. Whoever would have thought at any point in the season we would say the Chiefs are alone in last place in the AFC West. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.